3 of 9 shots and had no offensive rebounds. The Clippers are trying to shake a 6-game losing streak. They have failed 5 times to get a win since the James Harden trade on November 1st. Paul George was fined $35,000 by the NBA for criticizing the refs after Tuesday's loss in Denver. George will barely miss that money. His $42.4 million salary pays him $517,000 per game. USC and UCLA play their annual showdown Saturday at the Coliseum. Both teams are out of contention for the Pac-12 championship, but both are eligible for a bowl game. No debates, no speculation, just the info you need. That's your KBLA Sports Minute. I'm Ray Richardson on KBLA Talk 1580.
KBLA Talk 1580 invites you to join us in celebrating the season of giving by being part of the solution. As we enjoy great food, family, warmth, and well wishes in whatever our festive tradition may be, we share the beauty of the season by reaching out to the less fortunate. Please help us to help others with the KBLA Cover the Houseless Cozy Community Coat and Blanket Drive. All you have to do is drop off new or clean, gently used winter coats and blankets in the KBLA lobby during business hours. Now through December 20th, all of the coats and blankets will be donated to unsheltered individuals and families experiencing houselessness. Simply bring your donation to 4434 Crenshaw Boulevard in Los Angeles, near Vernon Avenue, from 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. weekdays. That's 4434 Crenshaw in historic Leimert Park. During the holidays and every day, let's remember, we keep us safe. We keep us warm. We are the safety net. And together, we can cover the unsheltered. Get caught up in the spirit of the season, the spirit of love. Make a difference with your friends at KBLA Talk 1580.
First things first.
Things first, it's the DU General, Money P. I'ma put you up on the schedule, 6 to 9, 8 weekdays, not 2 and 7. Let's go. We got a lot to talk about, so much to pedal through. Unapologetically progressive. Tune to KBLA 1580 to get the mess. We're your ancestors' favorite radio station. First black on talk radio, left side of the nation. First. Me and Dominique the Prima go way back. Tag Smiley making sure the station stays black. Discussing all the issues in our community. We're hosted black and brown and others find unity. So let's talk about it. Maybe we can improve it. Digital underground, always down with the movement. So we tune in. The first things first with the queen of Black Talk Radio, Dominique the Prima. Go sis.
First things first.
Good morning and God bless. I'm Dominique DePrima. This show is called First Things First. Happy Friday. My first thing every single day, giving thanks, giving praise, and asking for blessings from God, asking for the blessings of the ancestors and the elders, and getting it going. We have a lot to talk about like every day. The freestyle phones is a thing all the time, 800-920-1580. Just call and get in. That's how we do it. Typically in the first hour, we look locally to the left coast where we broadcast from. Excuse me, hour 2. We go national, international, and beyond. And in the third hour, we do a deep dive with a person or persons of interest. Today is just a little bit different. We will be doing our Freedman Fridays now, every Friday, where we have a comprehensive reparations conversation. Comprehensive. What does that mean? All in, all heads in, all theories, all organizations. Let's talk about it. Let's come to the table. Let's keep the momentum going, educate ourselves, and elevate. Today for Freedman Friday, actor Isaiah Washington will be here live in studio. He has become very, very caught up in this reparations movement, and be interesting to get his take. He's always one with strong opinions and lots of information. So that should be fire. That's coming up hour 2. Hour 3, we'll unpack it. You know, what do you think about Freedman Friday so far? What is it that you want to say that hasn't been said? Of course, you're invited in when Mr. Washington is on at 800-920-1580. But for some reason, folks, at least so far on Freedman Friday, folks like to call after the guest is on, and the phones are wide open for you to do that or change the subject as some of you like to do. That's why we call it freestyle. So let's get it started. Partner in Politics today is the founder, CEO of ES Advisors. You've seen him on Fox Soul. He is a correspondent for KBLA Talk 1580. I'm talking about Ed Sanders. Good morning.
Hey, good morning, Dominique. How are you? Happy Freedman Friday. I like this stuff.
Yeah, you know what? Yeah, it just occurred to me right when you said that. Maybe I should pick a fight with Ed about reparations. We've never really talked about reparations, but more on that later. How are you this fine morning?
I can't complain. Up and at 'em, trying to get some fresh air right before we get going for the day. So, there's been a lot going on. So happy to jump on and let's chop it up.
Yeah, there sure is a lot going on. A story that seemed to be shaking the internet yesterday, even though I kind of gave it the side eye, is Snoop Dogg supposedly giving up smoke. That's what he said, giving up smoke. He didn't say giving up cannabis. Maybe he's on some clean and sober thing. That's possible. I'm not going to rule it out. But I felt like there was fine print. Let me put it that way. I feel like he's going to be launching a new brand of edibles, or he's going to do something about how bad smoke is for your lungs and why he's now, only, I don't know, eating gummies or something. I'm not sure. Maybe it's a clean and sober, because he did say after consultation with my family. But also Snoop Dogg is, he's a jokester. So I can totally see, and he had newspapers reporting on it, and I can totally see him having the whole internet up in arms and having the press freaking out about a smoke-free Snoop, and then psych.
Well, okay. So let's first things first. Let's hope and pray that Snoop's health is in good order, right?
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely.
That this conversation isn't being predicated by some ailment that may be dealing with him.
Yeah,
so
it's true.
If that's
Could be
not
possible.
the case, right? And if that's not the case, then ultimately, I saw that, and I didn't know whether it was real or not. I only saw it on social media, just sort of thumbing through. But look, it's one of those things. I get people want to use cannabis, that sort of thing. Inhaling, a carcinogen into your lungs can't always be good for you.
Can never be good for you, but people don't smoke weed. Well, I shouldn't say that. Maybe Snoop does. I was going to say people don't usually smoke quite like they smoke cigarettes, where you're smoking, 20 to 40 of them a day, but who knows? I mean, Snoop is...
Well.
Your tolerance builds up. If the more you smoke, the more you smoke, the more you have to smoke. Yeah, I guess so. I mean, I remember one particular rap artist that my friend was working with, that they were spending $5,000 a month on weed.
Yeah, and I get it. I mean, it's its own lifestyle. It has its benefits. I think it has its negative sides as well. A lot of people that I know that smoke heavily take breaks periodically, really, honestly. And there's benefits to taking break from their perspective. To your point about Snoop, I mean, he's one of the few people that if he, steps outside of his house, whatever he does is newsworthy, because he is. He's been such an essential part of our lives since
That's true.
Since he stepped on the stage, and he's one of these guys that we care about, and so whether he's with Martha Stewart or dropping a new album, performing at the Super Bowl, he is that level of artist and has that level of celebrity, and so if he says he's taking a break, we do care, and again, I hope it's not health related, but I think it's a good thing.
I mean, that's a great point, because Snoop, I just think of him as forever young and indestructible. Hopefully his health is fine. The other thing is we had an MD on this show who's an expert in cannabis, and she told me she prescribes it to her patients. She said that she recommends that they take at least 72 hours, I think it was, every 3-4 months, at least 3 days to a week of smoke free, so that they can keep their tolerance from building up, and having to use more, and just give their body a break.
Yeah. That's real. A friend has told me that you do take those breaks, and you need it because exactly what you said. I mean, you build up a resistance to it if you use it every day or that frequently.
I mean, for me, it's a weight loss issue. And I'm not asking for a friend, because I've long been an advocate of cannabis since way before it was ever recreationally legal. I think, to me, that when you ingest a lot of cannabis or smoke it, however you take it in, some of the holistic people say smoking is the least good way to take it, because it does damage your lungs, and also heating up the cannabis changes the chemical composure or whatever. But for me, it's weight loss, because if I'm, indulging in that, I'm snacking, and then I'll be gaining weight. That was my weight loss tip. Smoke less weed. You'll probably drop a few lbs. But, it'll be interesting.
Everything weight loss is like stop drinking, stop smoking, stop eating. All the
Well, I already know I ain't going to stop eating, so that's out. I hardly drink, so, that's out. So it's pretty much, pretty much down to the cannabis. And we are in the holiday season. The average American gains 5 to 8 pounds during the holiday season every year, and most of us never lose it. So you're putting on 5 to 8 pounds every year between Thanksgiving and Christmas, and then between New Year's and the next Thanksgiving, we don't take it off. So that is one of the reasons why so many folks are struggling with obesity and the health impacts that come with it.
Yeah, and it's hard for football fans too, because you have like the whole football season and nachos and stuff leading into the holiday season. So it starts early.
Yeah, no doubt. I mean, look, I'll snack watching anything. It doesn't have to be football. I can be watching Peaky Blinders and snacking, right? It's just what I do, snack and watch TV. But I back to Snoop. Your point was a really good one. Hopefully his health is fine, and he's just looking for some elevation, or it's a gimmick. I bet you a lot of people. I saw it on his thread. A lot of people talking about, well, if Snoop can give up, weed, I'm going to give it up too. So I wonder if that will happen. And on the other hand, some people were like, no, you won't be you, which to me sucks, because now you're trapping an artist into having to be a weed head for you, for your pleasure. Like, they should be able to reinvent themselves however they see fit.
Yeah, I mean, like Snoop's, well, it wasn't his debut, but I mean, the Chronic album is, and weed smoke has been such a heavy part of his branding.
Yeah.
Through the years, I can get why someone would say that.
But he's 50-something now. I mean, just because Tommy Chong is going to be, rolling blunts until he's 100, doesn't mean everybody has to do it.
Yeah, but that's a great another artist that you would reference that I can't separate Cheech and Chong from back in the day from weed smoke. I mean, like they're one and the same. So and Tommy
Chong is on Instagram smoking weed all day. I mean, you don't even have to go back in the day. He's there with his wife, just anyway. Well, we wish him well. I feel like there's another shoe to drop in this story. So Ed Sanders, we do have a lot to talk about. When we come forward, I want to look at what is going on with the 10 free, where we're saying we're hearing we could be up and running, at least in a fashion, by next week. We'll give you that info when we come forward. Dominique DePrimo with Ed Sanders on KBLA Talk 1580.
More of First Things First with Dominique DePrimo when we come forward.
This week at Target, you'll find different early Black Friday deals. Get fun deals on the latest tech, toys, and video games, plus smart deals on small appliances, floor care, and so much more. At Target, you'll discover different early Black Friday deals each week. And get what you need for the holidays fast with free Drive Up or score free shipping when you spend $35 or use your red card at Target.com. Get low prices and early Black Friday deals only at Target. Exclusions apply.
When breaking news happens, keep it locked to KBLA Talk 1580.
So pleased to announce that the 43rd mayor of the city of Los Angeles is on the phone. Mayor Karen Bass, good morning.
Good morning. How are you doing, Dominique?
Good. You must be incredibly swamped right now, and I appreciate you checking in. It's indefinitely what we're hearing, that the 10 freeway to be down?
Yes, that is the case. All of those travel apps, pay attention to those. As we get information, they've been uploaded right away. So those maps should be accurate. But we actually are trying to tell people to stay on freeways, to follow the route, because our streets can't handle 300,000.
Yeah.
Our streets would be parking lots. There is metro, there is public transportation. So they're increasing the frequency of trains and increasing the frequency of buses. So you can go to 511 and learn about metro. You can go to emergency.lacity.gov to learn about any information on the city. This is a time for all of us to stay together. We're trying every avenue possible. That's why it's so important that you reached out, Dominique. Always want to make sure that the KBLA audience is up to speed.
Mayor Karen Bass, thank you so much. Godspeed.
All right, thank you.
At KBLA Talk 1580, we've got your black.
It's pro time at Lowe's. Get big savings and rewards during Provember. Right now, buy one exclusive DeWalt 20-volt Max XR Power Detect 2-tool combo kit. Get one select Power Detect Bear tool free. That's up to a $249 value. And there's more. Save $200 on a DeWalt 12-inch dual bevel sliding miter saw. Because Lowe's knows tools, Lowe's knows pros. Valid through 11/22 while supplies last. Selection varies by location.
You can do it all by yourself, baby girl. What's your name? Let me talk to you. Let me buy you a drink.
Spilled your drink? Quick, the quicker picker-upper. Bounty picks up spills quicker. And each sheet is 2 times more absorbent, so you can use less than the leading ordinary brand. So you can get back to your night. Bounty, the quicker picker-upper.
Your ancestors' favorite radio station, and your favorite morning show host. Let's get back to Dominique DePrima right now.
Right now, we're back to Dominique DePrima and Ed Sanders on this fine Friday. So, the governor, Mr. Gavin Newsom, is now saying that the 10 freeway could be open by Tuesday. At the latest, he's saying, by Tuesday. First, they were saying, could be months, then 3 to 5 weeks. Now, it's still 3 to 5 weeks before the thing is fixed. They're going to go one column at a time, but luckily they don't have to do demolition. They can go column by column by column and fix those columns. And apparently they got a couple hundred people working 24/7 to fix it. But the actual freeway, I guess, can open while they're still working on it. Ed, you there?
Yeah,
I don't know if you commute on that freeway or not, but I feel like we are all connecting through there somehow.
Yeah, well, it'll hit you in some way, one way or another. I think, look, when you think about Los Angeles, one of the things that you always start with around the world is, how is the traffic, right? It's sort of world renowned. And what you see in an instance like this where a freeway goes down is really how vital these freeways are. And, through the years, we've expanded lanes in various freeways. There's always some conversation around, how regionally we can move people around. It's such a large county, and Southern California in general, getting people to and from and in the city. But in the heart of the city, when the 10 freeway goes down, It's a cluster. I know from my own self, I'm sure everyone has an anecdotal story, but it really was like the next day, I was driving east and, I actually didn't even know the damage had occurred. And found myself in the line just kind of sitting there before I really figured out what was going on. And, it's a snarl that's going on. So at any rate, it's glad to see the governor and the mayor. I saw them touring it earlier in the week. There's a definitive focus on getting this freeway up and running as quickly as possible. And I got to give kudos to Mayor Bass, to Governor Newsom for understanding how critical it is and making it such a priority for us to get that freeway back up and running.
Yeah, that's a good point. I mean, if they didn't make a top priority, it would be taking a lot longer. This certainly is something that could have dragged on forever. And I'm not sure if they're going to have certain lanes closed and certain others. They're still trying to get you to take public transportation. You can use the Metro bike share system free during the closure, apparently, and they're reducing the parking for the Metro ride lots. They're adding more trains through that area and speeding up all of the service. So hopefully people will ride. ABC7 is reporting that the Metro line, their user numbers are up by 10%. So some folks are taking that option. Same thing happened to me, Ed. I was driving Sunday, and because it happened late Saturday night. I was driving Sunday, and I didn't understand why it was bad traffic. I was like, "Is there a game? What's going on right now?"
Yeah, and it wasn't even the traffic that you would jump on sort of the 110. It was just traffic. I was like, this is awful.
Yeah, and then I got a notification from the city because I have their emergency notification system, and it actually turns out to be pretty good. SAG-AFTRA members are voting now on the contract, and it's turned out to be a bit controversial. 86% of the board voted yes, but some people are angry. I talked about this a little, Justine Bateman being one of them, because they say we didn't get enough protection around AI, even though it's an unprecedented situation of, AI even being addressed in the contract. But I don't know. I haven't voted yet. It feels like a win to me because of the raises and the fact that AI is being addressed at all.
Yeah, I mean, you're not going to find a deal on issues like this that is going to get 100% right. And, in some ways it's a lot like what goes on in Congress, right? You've got just different, and it's not necessarily factions. There's just different issues, and people line up differently on the issues. AI is going to be a conversation piece in, not just the creative industry, but as we start to see AI technology spread throughout, this economy, human workers are going to challenge the companies that are trying to not pay humans as much, right? And we're just seeing this as one of the very first industries that's having to deal with it. So it's going to be interesting. I hope the deal satisfies people. I don't know the terms of the deal, but obviously I don't want to see the pain of people being out of work. And so if industry and actors and talent can come to an agreement, great.
Yeah, well, we got the agreement. Now the rank and file has to sign off on it. So the LA City Council voted on Tuesday of this week to bring back rent increases. This is concerning the rent control departments in the city. They can go up. They can go up to 6%. That's been frozen since we went into the coronavirus era. They can raise rent by 4% starting February 1st, and 2% more if you are in an apartment where the utilities are included. So, I know there was some dissent in the city council about whether or not rent control apartments should be allowed to go up, but that prevailed. So the rent hike is back.
Yeah, and look, these are. I see this issue from a variety of different angles, and I think the issue I view it from first is from our community standpoint, and within that, I think there's a stratosphere, right? I think there are people that are renters, and rent control allows them to stabilize their costs at a time where gas is going up, utilities, energy, even just the cable bill goes up. Where we can help people remain and keep affordable in LA, it's a good thing to do. But I also remember when I worked on the city council, there were a number of what they call the mom and pop, family-owned rental or owners of rental units. Yep. And, the impact to them of not being able to raise rent is a critical one. I mean, a lot of people have bought investment income, and it's designed to either, finance retirement or finance a kid's college or just for whatever reason, it's an investment opportunity. And I don't know that I necessarily agree that the city should limit their ability to raise, but it's a mixed bag, and I, I rarely say it's above my pay grade. I let the council make the decision.
I mean, they did. There was an amendment, I can't remember who put it forth, that said that wanted to let mom and pops charge more and not corporate landlords. That one did not pass. Right. And it has been 4 years, for rent-controlled apartments. I have mixed feelings, too, because I feel like it is the state of California and the city of Los Angeles and the county of LA balancing the budget on or I should not really balancing the budget, but keeping people out of homelessness and getting them through the pandemic on the backs of individual mom and pop landlords. That doesn't seem fair either, because when we have an emergency, a public health emergency, that seems like something that should be the purview of the government to pay for it, not the mom and pop landlords. At the same time, if rents go up, I agree with Eunice Hernandez. You accelerate the number of folks on the streets, and we already have a crisis. So anything that could exacerbate that needs to get extra scrutiny.
Yeah. It's an interesting conversation. I mean, there are, a lot of this deals with what buildings that were built, prior to 1978, I believe. And
yeah, I think that's right, because you can't rent control newer buildings until we get rid of Costa-Hawkins. But yeah, hold that thought, Ed Sanders. We've got news, traffic, and sports, and then we'll continue this conversation. You're welcome in, 800-920-1580. We are unapologetically progressive. KBLA Talk 1580.
She's reclaiming her time on KBLA Talk 1580. More First Things First with Dominique DePrima when we come forward.
We thank you for joining us on this Friday morning, November 17th. I'm Mike Moore. Now here's the latest from the Black Information Network. President Biden meets today with Mexican President Andrés Manuel López Obrador. The White House says the two leaders will meet on the sidelines of the APEC forum that's currently underway in San Francisco, California. Biden and Mexico's president are expected to discuss the migrant crisis at the U.S.-Mexico border. A mistrial has been declared in the civil rights trial of Brett Hankinson, a former Louisville police officer involved in the deadly Breonna Taylor raid of 2020. After 4 days of deliberations, a federal jury told the judge it was deadlocked and could not reach a verdict on 2 charges. Hankinson fired 10 shots into the apartment building of a 26-year-old black woman on the night of the botched drug raid. And that's the latest. I'm Mike Moore from your 24/7 news source, the Black Information Network and BINnews.com.
Don't miss Provember at Lowe's. Right now, save $80 on a DeWalt 20-volt 2-tool combo kit. Was $229, now $149. Lowe's knows pros. While supplies last, selection varies by location. Valid through 11/22, subject to change.
At Mattress Firm's Black Friday sale, better sleep and unmissable deals are a sure bet. Save up to $500 on Tempur-Pedic and score a $300 instant gift for pillows and more. Plus, get your new bed with fast and free delivery. Don't miss the Black Friday sale at Mattress Firm.
This is the KBLA Sports Minute with Ray Richardson.
The Lakers are at Portland tonight. The Clippers are home against Houston. A lot of eyes will be on Anthony Davis to see if he makes up for his soft performance against Sacramento Wednesday night. In 35 minutes, Davis made only 3 of 9 shots and had no offensive rebounds. The Clippers are trying to shake a 6-game losing streak. They have failed 5 times to get a win since the James Harden trade on November 1st. Paul George was fined $35,000 by the NBA for criticizing the refs after Tuesday's loss in Denver. George will barely miss that money. His $42.4 million salary pays him $517,000 per game. USC and UCLA play their annual showdown Saturday at the Coliseum. Both teams are out of contention for the Pac-12 championship, but both are eligible for a bowl game. No debates, no speculation, just the info you need. That's your KBLA Sports Minute. I'm Ray Richardson on KBLA Talk 1580.
Meet LA's most affordable health plan. This open enrollment season, LA Care Covered is proud to offer the lowest cost health plans in Los Angeles County, featuring zero-cost preventive services to help you achieve your wellness goals. Be part of the region's largest HMO network, featuring UCLA Health, Optum, and allied physicians without breaking the bank. We are here to help. Call us at 855-222-4239 for enrollment assistance. That's 855-222-4239. LA Care Covered. Your wellness, our mission.
Hey, son. How are you feeling?
I'm fine, Pops.
What's on your mind?
I can't explain it. Navigating without a compass, eyes waiting, started to wonder. Metamorphosis, the loss of who you thought you was.
When your kid can't find the language, help them find the lyrics. Listen to the Sound It Out album and get tips and tools to start a conversation at sounditouttogether.org. Brought to you by Ad Council and Pivotal Ventures.
KBLA Talk 1580 is the exclusive media sponsor of This Light of Ours, activist photographers of the Civil Rights Movement. A dynamic new exhibition on view now at the Skirball Cultural Center in Los Angeles. This Light of Ours showcases more than 150 photos taken by movement insiders from diverse backgrounds that reveal the vital work undertaken by a broad coalition of organizers and everyday people whose collective action changed America. This Light of Ours is one of 3 temporary exhibitions currently on view at the Skirball, which together explore issues related to civil rights, immigration, and pluralism. Tickets and more information for all 3 exhibitions are available at skirball.org. That's skirball.org. SKIRBALL.org.
When you're young, life is full of choices. Don't let opioids like highly addictive and deadly fentanyl take away your life with just one wrong pill. Addiction is a disease that can affect anyone at any age. But there is a choice to get help for this disease. Find medically proven treatment options, including virtual, at choosemat.org.
For all of us, this generation and the next, there is simply no place in our lives for litter. And yet, it's everywhere we look. And unfortunately, it does belong to all of us. So, let's come together and create a litter-free, clean California, once and for all. Remember to properly dispose of your trash and recycling. Secure truckloads with tarps to keep debris from flying out. Clean out your car when you're at a gas station. Take pride in your community by organizing a cleanup event. Or join a cleanup event near you. Zero litter is the goal. Join us at cleanca.com. That's cleanca.com. Let's do it together. Brought to you by Caltrans. cleanca.com.
Thanks for waking up with Dominique DePrima on KBLA Talk 1580.
It is a Freedman Friday, so we will be talking with actor Isaiah Washington next hour. He's got a lot to say about the topic, and you're welcome to join as you are now. 800-920-1580. We're going to unpack what he says and what's been said so far during the final hour of the show. So I invite you to call in now or then. Talking with Ed Sanders, Edward M. Sanders on Twitter. You can find me at DPrima Radio, DIPRIMA, and then radio. And you can find KBLA at KBLA 1580 everywhere, including YouTube, where we're streaming right now. So, Ed, the reason I said I was going to pick a fight with you about reparations is because I've noticed in general, most of the time, I am a little bit more... to the left, I guess, of you. Not always. Sometimes you surprise me. Sometimes you come out with your Black Panther beret on, and I'm like, wait, is that Ed Sanders? But many times you are, what Zoe Williams calls the voice of reason, or depending on, your point of view. So where are you on reparations? We've never talked about it.
It's... I feel like reparations. I never feel like the conversation is focused right. The concept, I think, is something that I agree with, and that all of us agree, right? That the years of enslavement for Africans in this country and the subsequent Jim Crow created a set of circumstances that continues to impact our lives today, and that there are some remedies that can be implemented to help put structure in our society. And by our society, I mean within the African American community in general. The way they get structured, I always feel like it needs to have sort of generational development at sort of as the marker, right? I'm not looking for 40 acres and a mule for today. It's got to be something that motivates and builds the consistency, the educational system, the wealth building tactics. It's got to. We're for lack of a better word, we're at times I think we're talking about nation building. And, you remember back during the Iraq War after this country went in there chasing after,
weapons of mass destruction.
Fairies and weapons of mass destruction.
Right.
Yeah, we started talking about nation building in Iraq. And, there's an analogy to me where, even post Jim Crow, the civil rights movement, we've never really had this active nation-building effort within our own community, and that if we have concepts around what we would do in Iraq, those very same concepts should have been applied and should be applied here. So if we're talking about funding for, and not just funding, but I mean like stability for HBCUs, if HBCUs are going to be our primary avenue to secondary education, we shouldn't see those universities, as second-tier universities when in any of the budgets, and they should have a seat at all of the tables.
You're talking about investing in infrastructure, and one of the things that we were supposed to have, which was protection, right, of the United States government on an ongoing basis from racial terror. We might still have a Black Wall Street had that happened. But what about cash payments? I mean, you sound like a little like Governor Newsom right now, Ed Sanders, where reparations is not just cash.
Yeah, I mean, I honestly don't think it's a cash payment. I mean, would I take it? Great. But I also can see look, it's as if there was, every couple of years we get the vehicle license rebate, right? And you get like an extra $200-300 on your, back from your tax returns or something like that. It's a one-time pop, and then the country or state or whatever gets to dust their hands and say, yeah, we dealt with it. and they didn't deal with any of the systemic issues. They gave a cash payment.
That's a start. It's a big start.
It's not a start. It's not a start. It's a misdirection.
I don't think so because it solves some of the issues. I mean, cash in the hands of, Black America would solve a lot of issues. I admit, not all of them, not the things that are baked into the cake. But how do you end systemic racism in the police department? We're not going to. How do you end systemic racism in lending? We should have, in my opinion, we shouldn't pay. We should have a tax holiday that lasts years. We should have, free college tuition, including room, board, and books. All of that. Those are, to me, you can't rely on just changing laws and just changing policies because people find ways to get around that. And the racism is so ingrained in these institutions that just saying, oh, we're going to change a law and then move on and not going towards, dollars, to me, is just not enough.
No, I mean, I agree with you, but I don't think a one-time payment is really the avenue to do it. Listen, the first thing that pops in my mind, and you can laugh and then throw something at me, is the Dave Chappelle skit, right? Like,
Yeah, but that's such a right-wing talking point. I mean, Dave is not. I mean, Dave is funny, but Dave ain't exactly progressive.
But Dave isn't exactly wrong in what happens on a one-time cash payment. And again, I would say that
maybe not. I mean, look at you're talking. Okay, explain what you mean for those who who are not. Everyone's familiar with that skit, but just in case.
I know. So what is it? I forget. Whatever the source of the money, it might have been reparations. Money for Black people in America. It was like the stocks at KFC were going through and Popeyes were going through the roof, and guys were out buying rims and blah blah blah. It's just it was laughing at the materialistic side of us that spends once we have a little money in our pockets.
Yeah, but see, but that's not a good excuse. To me, if you owe me money, you don't get to say I'm not going to pay it to you because you're going to squander it on a Gucci purse. Well, it's my money, so I get to do what I want with it. No, and if that's squander it, then that's my right because it's my money.
Okay,
and
sure,
it's a stereotype.
But again, it doesn't fix the issue. If that's what happens, it doesn't. If that's what you want in order for the country to say, you know what, good, we're done. Don't talk about any other issues. I don't want to hear it. Here's your check. Great, bye. It doesn't. Because that's to me what comes of something like that, where it's like, okay, this is what we needed to repair the African American community in the United States, was just this one-time check payment. And I just simply don't agree. I think our educational institutions are not strong enough to educate the next generation of African Americans in this community, whether you're looking at, school districts in the urban core, rural, our university systems. There is a development just on the educational side. Now, housing and ownership, we were talking about rent control. We don't own large swaths of property, in any of the states. And so if you don't own the property, how do you protect your community from, economic trends that are forcing people out? We've seen our people in every urban core basically obliterated.
I mean, it's happening in LA right now. It happens. And it's like
in LA, Oakland, you go to any major city and it's happening.
Mm-hmm.
And that is a community that cannot protect itself economically from housing, efforts or housing.
One could argue,
trends.
I will argue that if I got a big check, I'd be more likely, Miles would be more likely to be able to buy a place now. You know what I mean? Before they're out of reach again. I feel like, I don't think it's just a check. I think it's both and. But what I've found is that people that argue against cash payments don't have the same argument against anything else. It's like, well, okay, let's abolish one of the, the task force, the California task force has a bunch of recommendations, making policy changes that would, help to correct the overrepresentation of black people inside prisons. Okay, so why not think, oh, they can do that and then, dust their hands off and say, we're done. We're not going to give you a check. We fixed the prison system and the schools. I'll get your thoughts on that when we come forward. Ed Sanders on KBLA Talk 1580.
Say the quiet part out loud. KBLA Talk 1580.
Beloved Entertainment presents Sweet Spot Live with Angelique Francis, host of KBLA's Living in the Sweet Spot at the beautiful Miracle Theater, 226 South Market Street in Inglewood, Sunday, November 19th at 6 p.m. Join me, Tavis Smiley, and KBLA Talk 1580 for real short stories told live on stage by our own storytellers, straight from the neighborhood, celebrating our unique culture, our strengths, our courage, our faith, and, of course, our fire. Come walk with us through the neighborhoods, sit at our kitchen tables, even run with us down our dark alleys if you dare. But just know that in the sweet spot, there is love and laughter, joy and pain, secrets never told. Again, that's Sweet Spot Live with Angelique Francis, Sunday, November 19th at the Miracle Theater, 226 South Market Street in Inglewood at 6 p.m. Tickets available at sweetspotlive.eventbrite.com. That's sweetspotlive.eventbrite.com. Sweet Spot Live, we've got a lot to talk about.
This week at Target, you'll find different early Black Friday deals. Get fun deals on the latest tech, toys, and video games, plus smart deals on small appliances, floor care, and so much more. At Target, you'll discover different early Black Friday deals each week. And get what you need for the holidays fast with free drive-up or score free shipping when you spend $35 or use your red card at Target.com. Get low prices and early Black Friday deals only at Target. Exclusions apply.
In Big Tobacco's Fantasyland, children are the future. Here, tobacco companies are committed to higher education, offering scholarships to students who submit essays about the benefits of vaping. The tobacco industry even sponsors summer camps for kids. Don't worry, the tobacco-sponsored programs have been linked to leaving your kids more interested in smoking. In Big Tobacco's Fantasyland, the world's deadliest industry is your child's friend. See reality at undo.org.
The possibility of lung cancer can be pretty scary, especially if you're one of approximately 8 million current or former smokers at high risk. That's why SaveByTheScan.org wants you to know that now there's a breakthrough low-dose CT scan that can detect lung cancer early, and it only takes 60 seconds. You stop smoking, now start screening. For an easy quiz to see if you're eligible, visit SaveByTheScan.org. It could save your life. SaveByTheScan.org is brought to you by the American Lung Association's Lung Force Initiative and the Ad Council.
KBLA Talk 1580. We've got a lot to talk about.
KBLA Talk 1580 believes in community empowerment through the arts. Tia Chucha Central Cultural is on a mission to transform community in the Northeast San Fernando Valley and beyond through ancestral knowledge, the arts, literacy, and creative engagement. The Northeast San Fernando Valley has a population of about 500,000, the size of the city of Oakland, yet it has no bookstores, art galleries, or full-fledged cultural spaces until Tia Chucha's opened its doors in 2001. Founded by renowned poet and activist Luis Rodriguez, Tia Chucha's Cultural Center provides a year-round free or low-cost arts and literacy bilingual intergenerational programming in mural painting, music, dance, writing, visual arts, healing art sessions, and healing talking circles. Activities also include Mexica, Aztec dance, indigenous cosmology, philosophy, and 2 weekly open mic nights, one in Spanish, the other in English. In addition, they host author readings, film screenings, and art exhibits. To express yourself, heal yourself, attend an event, or volunteer, please visit www.tiachucha.org. That's TIACHUCHA.org. This is a community call to action from KBLA Talk 1580.
Now. We tend not to think about now. We dream about tomorrow, relive yesterday. But right now in front of us is victory over cancer. Right now, cancer research funded by the V Foundation is leading to better treatments and saving lives. Victory over cancer is there for the taking by you, because today's cancer research is tomorrow's victory. Learn more at v.org.
Don't give up.
Don't ever give up.
At Charmin, we heard you shouldn't talk about going to the bathroom in public, so we decided to sing about it.
Roll Charmin Ultra Strong when you drop in the beat. It cleans with way less effort on your seat. Yeah, roll it, drop it. Yeah, roll it, drop it. Okay. Charmin flows extra strong from the road. Your butt hella clean while you're sitting on the bowl. Yeah, it's all you need for that bathroom groove. Get you in and out without nothing to prove.
Charmin Ultra Strong cleans better so you can use less. Enjoy the go with Charmin.
You can do it all by yourself, baby girl. What's your name? Let me talk to you. Let me buy you a drink.
Spilled your drink? Quick, the quicker picker-upper. Bounty picks up spills quicker, and each sheet is 2 times more absorbent, so you can use less than the leading ordinary brand. So you can get back to your night. Bounty, the quicker picker-upper.
Environmental justice, pollution, and climate. In Los Angeles and across America, people of color are suffering and dying from disproportionate health impacts on a planet that has less than 10 years to prevent irreversible damage. Heat illnesses, respiratory illnesses, water-related illnesses, food system impacts, insect-related diseases, Black maternal health, and mental health effects. As the impacts of climate change mount, millions of vulnerable people, our people, are going to bear the brunt of these extreme environmental events, which will likely lead to forced displacement, loss of cultural identity, and other related risks. These realities are as real as rain. Stay tuned to KBLA Talk 1580 for more details about the most progressive multimedia and live events campaign any Black media outlet has ever undertaken to combat the climate catastrophe. Experts, events, empowerment. It's all on the way from unapologetically progressive KBLA Talk 1580. We don't black down. We level up.
Level up, 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 level up.
Heard any other talk radio lately that sounds anything like this? We didn't think so. You're listening to Unapologetically Progressive KBLA Talk 1580.
I doubt you have. We're talking with Ed Sanders. I told you I was going to pick a fight with you about reparations on this Freedman Friday, Ed Sanders.
And we don't have enough time to finish the fight.
Here's your clap. I'm handing you the mic. You got the clap back. It's all you.
Well, I don't know. It's not. I don't know that it's a clapback. Other than, look. In here's the first thing. I think this is something that would run up to the Supreme Court, and I don't think this is a Supreme Court that is going to entertain race-specific, payments or anything along those lines.
You just served up the show on a platter, because that's one of the big arguments that the lineage-based folks think, that it needs to be only people that, not based on race, based on your lineage and, to a descendant of an enslaved person in this country.
So 2/3, however you calculate that, whatever that looks like. But I don't even, it's not even just the race issue that I think the Supreme Court would strike it down on. I think ultimately they would say that, yeah, African peoples fall under the sort of the conquered peoples clause or thought within the legal world, and that the United States actually doesn't owe you a thing. I think that's where this court would land. And so ultimately, to me, it's a good exercise. I think we start to lay out some root causes. It's not even a start. We're just detailing a lot of the root causes of pain that our community faces. But in the end game, I think, looking for the state to solve it, first off, I don't think there's ever going to be enough of a budget to even, it'll be a drop in the water in terms of the resources that would be needed to correct some of the ailments. And I don't think you'll ever get anywhere near the type of money that you need to,
Why, though?
to do it.
I mean, we can free up, why? We can free up billions for Ukraine, as fast as we sneeze.
Yeah, and I get that. But the point being that that we've never freed up that sort of money for us in the past. Why would you think it's going to happen now?
Momentum, the people changing their mindset, our activism.
I mean, our activism is strong within us. I don't see the activism. I don't see it paying off with other groups. And your point is well taken. It's a political conversation, right? If you put this to a vote within California, do you think it passes?
But why would it have to go to a vote? We're not. It's not. It's a debt.
No, it doesn't.
It's not a. It's not a policy. Well, it is a policy, but it's a debt that's owed to Black people. Yeah. So why would it have to go to a vote? You're talking about.
Well, it's going to go to some measure of vote, whether it's in the legislature, or the governor signing. There's a political act of voting on it.
Right. Yeah. So you're saying lawmakers
and
won't
if
support
it's wildly unpopular within the state, it's not going to go anywhere. I haven't seen, groups of white Democrats, coming forward to say that, yeah, I'm going to vote for this.
Not yet. Maybe never. What about white Republicans? Do you see them?
White Republicans? You tell me. Yeah, I love the conversation. It's just, I don't know. They say they're allies. I don't know that they're going to be allies. And so in a lot of ways, I love the conversation. This is ultimately where you and I, where I get sort of cast as I don't want to spend my energy working on it if I know that, the allies that put an arm around you and say, hey, brother, this and that aren't going to vote for it. I know they're not going to vote for it. You know they're not going to vote for it.
Well, I think we can get them there. Maybe that's the difference. And I think that they should vote for it because the economic impact and benefit will be far beyond just the Black American community. We will stimulate this economy like nobody's business.
You're preaching to the choir. I don't disagree with you. I don't think they agree with you.
You don't see a path to winning, is what you're saying.
I don't.
Okay.
I don't.
So we don't get to call you conservative.
What I do is I take the recommendations and the recommendations, we should all take them. And frankly, Dominique, we should talk about it. We should put the recommendations up and then figure out what we need to do internally within the community to fix it. As much as I love and want to have pick the fight with the world, hey, you guys owe us this. I also prepared for them to say, hey, no, now move on from it. And we can't not move on from it. There's not that option. We have to continue to move on from it. And that's,
why?
If that ends up being the plight, that's the plight.
I know you're not supposed to ask why questions, but okay, so we can't move on from it, but why do we have to? I mean, I can still function, come do my job, be a mom, make dinner, come to work, and still advocate for reparations until we get there.
Sure. I'm right there with you, but I'm not. Listen, if we haven't solved our reading readiness issue because reparations hasn't come, or if the number of African Americans going to college isn't going up because reparations hasn't come, I can't leave those problems unaddressed. We gotta focus on those, right?
Yeah, we are. We can do a lot.
Yeah.
We can multitask. We have to, right?
We like it rough. We like it hard.
I didn't say all that. No. I like it smooth, easy. Easy victories are okay with me, but
you like it rough. We gotta,
you know what, Ed? You are way over your skis on that one. But I'm going to give you a pass because you're my friend. Ed Sanders, I'll see you at the reparations distribution office.
That part. I'll be first in line.
At the Freedmen's Bureau. Ed Sanders, it's always a pleasure to talk with you. Thanks for joining this morning.
Thanks, Dominique. Have a good weekend.
Find him at Edward M. Sanders on Twitter. It is a Freedman Friday. It's about to be on. Actor Isaiah Washington is in the building. Hop on YouTube. Check us out. Get in the conversation. It's KBLA Talk 1580.
KBLA 1580 Santa Monica.
We thank you for joining us on this Friday morning, November 17th. I'm Mike Moore. Now here's the latest from the Black Information Network. President Biden meets today with Mexican President Andrés Manuel López Obrador. The White House says the two leaders will meet on the